Welcome, busy gamers. Today we're going to be looking at Neon Echo. If you're already familiar with my First Look series, feel free to skip straight to the gameplay or the discussion section, and if you're looking for the full review, I'll be putting that in the end card or the show notes as soon as it's posted. So, what's a first look? For me, those first few minutes of a game are very crucial. They set a tone and they determine if a game will really grab me. So for this series, I'll be bringing you along as I first step foot into a game. I'll put a timer up and I'm going to be playing for just 30 minutes. As I play, I'll be giving you my live thoughts and reactions before giving a quick summary in the end. Now, Neon Echo was developed and published by Xinuan Studios in a colorful counter to the recent Have a Nice Death review that I did. This particular game is a 3D side-scrolling action roguelike. However, this one is in a very colorful anime style. It focuses around a corrupting sound or noise that can only be resisted by music, specifically EDM music. This means the game centers around the heavy beat of that EDM style, and it weaves it into the gameplay with some additional effects when attacking or defending to the beat. With the game still in early access, it has 3 primary classes or careers in which to play. In addition, the game boasts over 400 unique battlefields with which to pull random elements, making each run a bit different and unique. So, no more delay, let's pump up some music and see how Neon Echo strikes us. Alright, here we go with Neon Echo. I'm not really sure how I feel about the whole resonancers thing here. I'm okay with music saving you from something, as music has always been kind of an important part of my life, and I'm not opposed to that in any way, shape, or form. That being said, the whole resonancer thing here seems a bit off. And, okay. This definitely an anime style there. Strepitus. Strepitus is like the disease that's going on here. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not following terribly well there. Strepitus and resonancers is just throwing me off a bit. Okay, so that's also not the style I thought it would be based on the art style. This is a little more chibi than even anime. But we'll see how it goes. Okay.
No signal.
Rainbolotti. Interesting. There's too many custom words here. Strepitus Abyss. Okay. Alright, so we've got a little bit of a kind of a floating jump going on. A good looking basic attack that does keep you floating, which is nice. The skill is just... Ooh, is a very long cooldown. I don't think I noticed that. Definitely did not expect that to be so long. The up down is just kind of a float. And you can strike through things. Okay. Hit some basic evades here.
Perfect spot for a sneak attack.
Okay. I didn't do quite what I wanted me to. Wanted me to kind of come down on top of it and strike it. Which is a strong attack and decent. I'm not opposed to that there. There's a double jump. Not great. These things are just kind of standing around though, I'll give them that. Not a lot going on there either. Supply acquired. Okay. This is probably going to be what we're going to see as upgrades here. Okay, we can trigger chain lightning when we hit things, so probably just hitting other things. So that's with normal attacks, skill or variation attacks. I don't know what a variation attack is, And then Neon Flash triggers Thunder Cascade and paralyzes. So I don't know what Neon Flash is. It doesn't really explain those things to me. That's not great. Not a great sign off the bat. And then we've got a clearance award, which, okay, increase max HP. And then this is contains melody crystals of power record. I don't know what that is. It's details that don't make any sense to me yet. We'll go ahead and just take that for now. And we've got a little bit of a loading screen there.
Will be enhanced if the skill is released on downbeat.
Okay. Weak beat, normal skill. Okay. I mean, okay. Okay, so on the downbeat is effective. It feels a little clunky. Maybe I need to just like turn up the music in my headset a little bit. I think I was expecting there to be more to the music, in all honesty. There really isn't. I would say for the most part, the music is just kind of a generic thump. I think I was just expecting maybe a little bit more dynamic nature to it. So increase normal attack crit rate, launch extra missile when backstabbing. Backstabbing seems good. We're just going to take the crit missile. We're not going to belabor our decisions here. We don't really know what we're doing anyway. We look like we have a Kovo coin. Currency uniformly used by Kovan New Center. Widely... Okay, it's just coins. But it doesn't mean anything at all to me yet. They're not doing a great job of explaining a lot of these things early on. I will say that I do not really like the chibi aesthetic. I'm okay with the anime art style, so like I kind of like the way the girl looks down there in the corner. But I don't really like the chibi look of the actual character. It's not for me.
Equipment has been repaired. I can cast my variation skill now.
Okay, so I've got a new skill. L1. Evade continuously and attack enemy.
I messed it up.
I don't think I really...
I have to do it consecutively.
Okay, I can just...
This is a piece of cake for me now.
So is that my skill that I just activated? That I can just constantly... L1 into rhythm status. And then I can continuously dodge and attack. Okay. I can attack this thing to energy up. And when I'm hitting it, I am sending out missiles. So that is that other upgrade that I had. Okay. So it looks like I have enough energy here so that I do that and then I can just come across. Okay, it's kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. But it's kind of throwing me off. I don't know. It feels... I haven't had as much to say during this one. I feel like during Have a Nice Death, I was like really on it. The colors and everything are pretty here, but I feel like I'm not very much understanding what's going on here. There's a needless amount of loading screens. Like I continue to load all the time. I guess I'm about to do a boss fight or something here, but just constantly there's all kinds of different things going on. It doesn't really explain a lot. The strepified thing really throws me off. Ow. I don't feel like there's a lot to what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of striking, just moving around a little bit. I could, in theory, I could do this now. And I'm just getting I just got obliterated.
Immortal
Resonancer. Alright, so the Melody of the Abyss Whimper. I a little bit like the voice acting there. The voice acting there is solid. I'm going to give it that. Alright, so I already died here. That's not a great sign. I feel like I'm just not really connecting with it, in all honesty. It feels off and clunky compared to a lot of the other ones here.
Sorry,
I
when the bomb
I
exploded,
also
the
really do not
Xinuan
like the
method had
chibis. I
been
really
used.
don't.
Two more bombs were detonated by accident. It's not your fault. This mission is too risky to be a sea level.
Okay.
Attention. All resonances. The valuation of the Strepitous Abyss in the Cavorn outer ring has been updated to
Okay, so we're upgrading a mission to A.
City is already swarming with stratified matches. This is a nightmare.
warning. Necromality's energy system
Necromality.
by an unknown attacker.
So I don't know what any of that is. They just continue to throw things.
Morons. System repair is going to cost a fortune, and look, I'm not going to let them off the hook this time. They must also pay us for working overtime and
Okay.
reworking. You've got a point. A-level missions need all kinds of fine.
So
I'll do it
they're
for
complaining
once.
about working here.
Let's go,
That
Eva.
seems fine. And we've got some upgrades needing to be made to the base. So we're probably just setting up some meta progression here, and that's completely fine. We have an odd guy in a tomb here.
Recursive, like music notes. Different combinations can create surprising.
There's a lot of like fancy British accents going on here, which is very odd.
I'll try them out, Doc.
It's really... I'll protect Necromelody. Is this thing the Necromelody? I'm still not sure.
It shocks me that AI mecha soldiers have been stratified. They were
AI
supposed to
mecha
set guard on the
soldiers.
outer ring. If they got
So the
infected-
voice acting at the end of one of the last things was actually pretty good, but here it's all over the board, right? And so we've got like fancy British accent to like this breathy but hard to understand thing going on here with Christine,
The Strepitous Abyss Control Administration will
and she almost even
dominate
sounds a little
the
robotic
company,
or
and we will
AI
receive
generated.
missions. Don't worry, boss. I won't let that happen.
Some odd spacing there as well in the text. You can definitely tell that it's an early access game, I would say. Label development, life composer. Okay, so these are repaired systems. They're things we're going to be adding to the game long term. Looks like the base is going to have multiple levels and quite a bit of other things going on here. So I don't know if that's just not been added to the game yet, or if it's one of those things that like we're going to unlock as we play.
We can reach the destination by using the frequency transportation device.
Frequency transportation device. Okay. So starts transfer. This is probably starting a new run, I would assume. The Abyss Whimper is just really, that kind of thing is really throwing me off here. Also they can hit you after you've fired. So like I fired my little special there, and then his bullet definitely came through the special and hit me. Usually those kind of things cancel each other out in games. And an enemy is eliminated, it spreads fear. It's this is purple. We're gonna take it just because I'm kind of curious here. The main issue I kind of have with this is not like the screen is ever really full of enemies, and this like secondary reward is done very awkwardly. I don't really understand them. They're resonance crystals, so it's a resource that I'm getting here, but it happens after the other choice. I think it should just tell you rather than kind of bring it up into that odd second section. And then again, there's like this other loading screen, and now I'm in a completely different location every time I level up. It's confusing. Like I don't understand why I'm moved because I leveled. All this is very, very, very straightforward as well. Now, granted, I died, so don't give me too much credit or downside here. It's just very, very hack and slash. Ow. I just immediately lost it yet again. Okay, so this is kind of the end of a thing. Maybe I'm not being transported every time I level. Maybe I get to the end of something, and it's just then automatically leveling me up. Okay, so we've got melody crystals again for lightning records and flame records. I don't know what the difference is. We've seen some lightning skills. Let's go ahead and just take this one. And we'll go. Whoa, big boy just kind of ran through me. I don't know that he hurt me, but he ran through me. I did give him fear there. Huge amounts of damage just on hitting me. There's no real blocking or anything. I feel like that guy took a lot of hits, so it's kind of hard to get through him. Alright, so we kill the little guy. He should be a feared. He wasn't feared very long. You cannot jump over him with a basic jump. So I would need to do a double jump or something, I guess. This guy takes way too many hits. I'm honestly just doing very poorly. I'm just very much not connecting with it. Trigger chain lightning when hitting enemies with a skill over. So we've seen this one before. It still says it's unrecorded, so I don't know exactly what that means. Sounds like I haven't gotten it before, but I swear that's the one I took last time. So we're going to take this again. There are way too many loading screens. That's 100% something that feels like an issue. We have a clue item. I feel like this is the first time we've seen that before. Streptus Abyss is an unexplainable menace that ravaged the Sellers continent. Okay. Its body represents a black hole and constantly emits a strange whimper, driving people who hear it to madness. Okay. So the whimper is just a noise that this bad guy machine makes. So only really my special when I hit on the beat does anything. And that is a crazy amount of damage I did to that thing to absolutely no effect. We'll do our special again. Get going. Okay, so at least he did give us extra rewards. That's kind of nice. And we can kind of do that crash attack on these guys, which is good. I don't... It's really... These big guys are hilariously bad. I don't... maybe I should just be phasing through them or something, but it seems like I should be able to jump over them. All they do is just kind of run into me. But we've died again, and so we're getting reborn back here in this. And we have unlocked a new thing. Not because we did well, because we definitely did not. I assume that we maybe collected enough resources or something here. But again, we didn't really explain any of that here.
You came just in time.
Okay, the latest version of the Life Composer system.
This version contains
Enhancement pass, simulating deeper potential. Okay, so this is meta progression. Yeah, this is definitely us getting stronger overall. And it's a skill tree, which is very interesting. So we have combat assistance and life. I do wish it would explain some of that. I don't see information on the nodes, but I could confirm. So also we've got a little bit of a... Okay, so if I confirm and I go into this, now it will tell me what it is. Upgrade activation increases active attack damage, which is a 3% flat, 20 resina. I would assume everything goes up in cost. 60 for the next nodes. Now let's see if everything would stay base here. So these are more expensive. Respawn and regenerate health. And this one is 20 as well. So increases max HP. So no, it's not a focus in one or the other. It is just the meta progression in general.
Lilia, the stimulation room is now open. Since each of our team
so practice before battle.
We need to practice.
So I've never used anybody else. Let's see, can I split to a different character? That would be interesting. Maybe we have not unlocked that ability yet. It doesn't look like we have locked that ability yet. Ah, okay, so there is some characters here. Oh, character attire. There's dress-up games here. Ah, okay, so this is just like different costumes for them. I think I would prefer a ranged shooter, so let's see if we can try a ranged shooter here. See, I actually do kind of like the aesthetic there, but I don't like their aesthetic in the chibi form, so we'll kind of have to see how this goes. So melee, ranged, melee. I do really like the look of kind of this brawler looking thing here. But we're going to try the ranged character. Oop, several battlefields of the main story. Okay, so we can't do it yet. All right. We just need to get good anyway. So they boasted this 400. They boasted 400 like unique things, right? I'm not seeing it. This is very, very much the same each time in my mind. And that whole thing being a level really threw me off. There was, I don't know, 2 frames long. Successful combo will create a tracking fireball. That seems very cool. Let's see what a successful combo is considered. So we'll go until we get one of those. We're just getting more of those crystals. Those are for the meta progression upgrades now. We do understand that. We do know that now. That's good. That at least was not considered a successful combo, so we'll have to see. Ow. Okay. That did create the fireballs, so whatever I did there that was slightly different. We got the clearance rewards, so we've got our hunter records and flame records. Again, this is now also something I don't really understand. We did lightning last time, we'll do flame this time. I'm sure this is another feature that we've just yet to unlock. These guys are relatively easy. They basically just do a charging attack, which is quite easy to get around in general. Okay, so let's see what we can do with these little guys. We can basically cheat it just slightly, if I'm being honest. Wow. Okay, so that still just doesn't work for me. You take like virtually none of their health when you hit them either. So you can double jump over them. That's nice. The guy basically just slaughters me every time I see him though. Okay, outrage effect will last as long as your HP is lower than 50. Okay. I wonder if taking the fire cards gives me more of these records, meaning like there's more chances to see these. Skill or variations will ignite. Let's just take that. Again, right now I don't feel like I understand the skills enough. And the combat is just very, very simplistic. So whereas like I'm used to triggering a bunch of different skills, it's really the one smash attack that can happen on the beat. If it happens on the beat, it'll trigger better things. And if it doesn't happen on the beat, nothing different happens. We got 2 health out of 80 here, so we're going to die right here. Just absolutely getting eviscerated over and over again. It's very odd. I feel like, as somebody who's cleaned almost up to the max heat in Hades, and I cleared Have a Nice Death pretty quick. This is... I hate to say that it's clunky, right? Because this definitely can be me. This definitely could be a get good portion on my part. Okay.
Music allows us to forget about the danger. I suppose everyone thinks the same. You should share.
Okay, so basically we just found some music that people could be a fan of. I will say this, this game's also supposed to really be centered around music, and I'm not really seeing it. The background music is fine. It's definitely pleasant. I don't have an issue with it in any way, shape, or form. That being said, it's nothing to write home about, and I'm not like getting into it. So with some other beat games like Hi-Fi Rush and things of that nature, I found myself just kind of bob into the music, really getting into it as I played, and that has not been the case here. Okay, so this is something I can go into. So this is the other new thing that we just unlocked here. It's the new music, the record statue. Let's see what this is. Okay, so now we have record research in this. lightning record. So equipped records. Position record. Okay. I still don't think I necessarily understand what that is. Trigger chain lighting when hitting enemies. So I've gotten that upgrade. Equipped records has some form of reward attached to it at the bottom. But it doesn't necessarily say anything to me, so for now I guess we move on, not having that terribly explained. We'll go out there and die again pretty quick, probably. Once we die again, we probably will call that quits for the first look. Not because we don't want to show you a full 30 minutes here. Just because at the moment, I think it is probably best intimacy. What is the intimacy tab? Select character intimacy level. Okay, so this is like a friendship thing. I don't really love that it's called intimacy. That feels odd. But it's definitely like relationships between the characters. Win the battle in the fight. 9,999 equipment. Like this post for me. What is this? Is this a real person? Is this... okay. Very weird. And then here are our, basically our definitions, the guides that you would see in most games. Enemy intel, we have an action guide. It looked like all of that was in the research report as well. Okay, it's just the handbook that opens up everything. Okay. We're nowhere near clearing anything. We will just, for now, we'll go back out again. We will try our best to focus a bit more. Yeah, see, that whole quote-unquote level was 2 enemies. It feels very odd. Outrage, ignite when hitting them with normal. That feels good. Let's just do that. It's also what I'm used to, like, pushing through as quickly as possible on, like, the in-game awards and things, because on a lot of these games there are timers. Doesn't seem to be one here. Alright. I'm gonna jump and run. We haven't been hit yet. We're actually trying a little bit harder. I'm starting to lose some pride on this one. Okay, another quick award. I like that the awards come quickly. That is very nice. Just gonna avoid actually dealing with that guy since I can trap him, which just seems like the right decision anytime I can. Ah, I just completely missed, and then I get hit twice. It's poorly done. The enemies are definitely killing me. They're also very, very generic. There's 3 enemy types that we've seen so far. A shoot, a ram, and a runner. Injection effect, max HP, or regenerate. They have a similar effect. We'll take max HP just in case. I feel like it just spawned me into the exact same room or a very similar room. These backgrounds are also very similar as well. I'm only calling this out because they mentioned having 400 unique rooms. It's not necessarily that anything is bad or wrong here. I'm only calling out because of their unique room statement. Ow. Well, the first time one of those has actually shot me.
Well done.
I do like that the upgrades come fast and furiously. That is kind of nice overall. Okay, so here's where we spend our cores or our coins. Here is a new character that I haven't talked to yet.
Hello, little guest. How's your mission going?
A little guest.
Really good.
And
Thanks
I
for asking.
giggled.
Even better if you could give me a discount.
Of course. My employees.
Okay. Unfortunately, just not really knowing what any of those things do outside of the heal, we're probably going to move on. A music core used in the blue launch pad can be inserted into a blue slot. Again, just not understanding the slots and things. Is this thing rapping? Robot rapping.
That poem sounds cool. A Natalie's creation indeed. But how should I use this? Plain and Hallie's instructions. Hello?
Okay.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I really don't understand what's going on here. We have found a new feature though. Music cores can be added to the Rhythm Launchpad system to grant you different buffs. Attribute of each slot is randomly generated each time you enter a battlefield. Connected will enhance common music cores. Okay. It's vaguely understandable, but not terribly well explained. In all honesty, we've hit our 30 minutes here. We're probably going to go ahead and stop. We'll pause that timer and I will give you some quick thoughts. Okay, so we've played our first 30 minutes. Now I should give you some quick thoughts. The good, the bad, the elsewise. So really quickly, I like the general background aesthetic. I think the art style is interesting when it comes to the backgrounds. Now I say the backgrounds because I absolutely hated the character design here. I don't do chibis, and it was primarily that. We often got into different conversations and things with other characters in which I struggled to understand them, or I found their accents to be jarring or misplaced. We had kind of the fancy British, we had kind of breathy, we had robot, we had the gambit, but a lot of it just felt a little stilted and AI generated versus truly voice acted. And then the dialogue itself had giggling little girls and things of that nature. So overall, the theming and everything just didn't really connect to me outside of the whole music and bright colors thing. So music and bright colors, 100% I'm on board for. But when we talk about the music, right, it's kind of this very chill background effect. I think when I heard EDM, I was expecting it to hit harder. I was expecting heavier beats. I was expecting drops and things of that nature. And maybe I am just misequating EDM with other music styles, and it is a bit more mellow than what I was expecting. That being said, the music in the background just felt a little too generic for me. And so when it's going to be giving me bonuses for hitting on the beat needs to be more present, needs to be more felt, needs to be something that I really can get into. And I didn't really feel like that was the case. Other than that, in all honesty, there were very few enemy types that we saw. Now granted, I did not get very far at all during this first 30 minutes. And that also threw me off a bit. Not because I think I am phenomenal at games, however, I am not usually quite this bad, especially at games like this. Maybe I'm having an off night, who knows? Maybe it just is a little bit more clunky than it seems. The attacks are simple. There's an attack, there's a special. The special's cooldown was far too long. The upgrades, even though you get them at a lightning's pace, because in some cases, completing a whole subsection is literally killing 1 or 2 mobs, the upgrades don't really feel that impactful. They didn't really change my game, and in many scenarios, I barely understood them. the fearing another enemy. Well, sometimes there's only one other enemy on screen, and that one other enemy might have been literally the only other enemy in the entire level. So having a fear effect or having missiles come out every time I fight, it didn't end up getting to feel very cool, even though in theory or in the way it sounded, it could have been. So less impactful powers, overall just feeling of clunky simplicity here. Now, again, I had some trouble with the dodges and the jumps and things of that nature. That, we're going to say that could just be a get good scenario on my part, that this could be a very simple mechanics that takes a little bit more to master, and that is where it lost me. But the powers themselves, very underwhelming, and I feel like I can confidently say that because they just didn't modify what I did enough. Now, maybe it expands a little bit more, and we'll see that in the review. As of today, though, in all honesty, I am not terribly excited to continue this particular review, and I do not expect it to be my favorite game of all time. I think there's probably going to be better things out here, but we will see if it can take me from a fairly lackluster first 30 minutes to a very excited review. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this 30 minutes, and until next time, have a great time gaming.